Okay, well, I wanted to say a few words about some auditing I've been receiving from my Class VIII Auditor, Candy Swanson, and also an ethics handling which she gave me. Actually, Candy and I go way, way back in time to 1971 when I was pretty new in Scientology and had just joined staff at Celebrity Center. Well, I was brand new, and she was the ace celebrity auditor of that org. And she was auditing all the celebrities of the day that were on lines at Celebrity Center. And I just met her briefly because I was doing dishes in the kitchen, and she was auditing a well-known actress, and they came out on break and asked me if I could bring them a tea setup. So I got the best silver and did tea for them. So I knew about Candy, and then I lost touch with her about a year later in 1972, and hadn't seen her all this time until I ran into her right around Christmas time of 2009. So that's the story of how I met her as a young man, and just in passing, and then we became good friends in 2010. So the first thing she did for me was to give me an ethics handling at my request in a business dealing I had with an employee. And this employee, I trusted him with a fairly large sum of money and several $1,000s, and he absconded with the money, and I was in distress, and I just couldn't sleep. It was nighttime and I couldn't sleep, so I gave Candy a call, and she did a handling on me, and I would say somewhere between the 10 or 15 minute mark over the phone, everything was handled, and I slept like a baby. And we went over what condition I was in. I was looking at danger or things of that nature, and I'm afraid it was a lot lower. And I went down to the lowest one I knew, which was confusion, and she said there's two others lower than that, and it turned out I was one lower, which was stupidity. And it didn't get my money back, at least not yet, but when I saw I was in stupidity, the whole thing cleared up for me. I was stupid, and I had to admit it to myself. And it's not easy when you've got a large ego, so which I don't really have, but I do have an ego, and I had to face up to being stupid. And that handled me, and I slept just like a baby, and it only took less than 15 minutes. When I first called, I was in distress. I just didn't know what to do. So then, as the year went by, I started working with her, and I decided that she wanted to give this test. I know most of the people in Scientology know of the OCA, the Oxford Capacity Analysis, used by the Church of Scientology. And Candy has a modified version called the PCA, Personal Capacity Analysis. And it's very similar in scope and basically many of the same questions, although they are reworded slightly. And there is one major difference. The OCA just has three choices, yes, no, or maybe, and the PCA adds mostly yes and mostly no. She didn't invent it, she got it off the internet. So I did the PCA test, and in fact she gave quite a few PCA tests. Some of them were given to friends of mine at my house. And anyway, the PCA test that I had, I was just sailing through life. I'm always, pretty level-headed and pretty keyed out. And I am the old OT7 from the Scientology bridge, plus I did new OT5, lots and lots of knots, and I completed that level I didn't do solo knots, but I completed regular knots, and I also had extensive expanded Dianetics. So I thought I was pretty stable, and I didn't really need that much auditing anymore. I hadn't had auditing since 1993, but I did the PCA, and actually something to do with my daughter, who attended my birthday party December 5th of 2010. I had a real lapse. Anyway, something came up on that on the PCA relating to my daughter attending my birthday party in 2010, and because of that, there were some low areas when the test was scored. So I found that out, and just by doing the test and doing the analysis of it in the graph with Candy, I had immediate case resurgence, and I saw where I saw a lot, like where I had been lax and where I went wrong, and that it was possible for me to address this and clear it up. So I was pleased just with that alone. That was major. And also some of the friends that took the test and had it scored also had major gains just on the scoring. The test itself and the scoring both give a big boost. And so we did that. And then I've had 4 sessions since then. Now, the most successful session was the last one, number 4, which I just had a few days ago. And that's why I'm beaming so much at this time. But anyway, it was a very good session. It got into an area, it's okay to say what it got into relationships, you know, which seems to be something that almost everybody has a problem with, and I ran the gamut of emotions, and I had some very interesting new awarenesses, and in some ways it was humorous, in other ways it was pathetic. I mean, you know, I had felt sorry for myself, felt unlucky roll of the dice, and things of that nature, but I knew that wasn't really the truth. That wasn't going to do me any good. So I had to look deeper, and that's what it's all about, looking deep, you know, and pushing the frontiers, being willing to get outside the box and see things from a different point of view. And in doing so, I made some new awarenesses. I expanded my space, and I think the other people that had been in relationships with me where it didn't go the way I had anticipated, I think those people also had gains. You could feel them. One of them called me the next day. It's still somebody I'm still in touch with, and it seemed like she had blown out. And then another one came with us and had a dinner the other night, you know, at a supper club where there's entertainment. So that the whole experience was very fulfilling, and that's just the 4th session, and I'm getting about one a week from her. So it's going real well, and I would recommend anybody to do the same thing that I did, take the PCA test, have it evaluated, and by the way, she does not charging for that right now, taking the test and the evaluation she's giving gratis at no charge, and then going into the handlings of the corners of the chart that are low. And if I recommend this very highly. Candy's a Class 8. She was trained on the flagship where Ron was in the 60s. This is an old-timer and really knows her stuff. So that's it.